without further ado, let's go talk Microsoft. Let's do it. All right. Microsoft. What a sexy beast Phil Spencer is.
All right, so we talked a lot about Xbox when we did the reaction.
We did.
Cliff Notes version, what did you have to say about it?
Okay, so problem with going first is you kind of look at it like, well, that's...
Well, EA went first.
Well, I'm saying the big three.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So you look at Xbox, you're expecting something. Like, we had a whole what we were predictions, what we hope were going to come out. And really, in retrospect...
Totally wrong.
In retrospect, they weren't even what we were thinking would have been smart and awesome.
Well, you got one right, the Halo one. You said Halo was going to come, right?
Well, I guess it's not Halo 6, though. I thought it was going to be called Halo 6, or I would hope it'd be Halo 6.
Yeah.
However, instead we got what we now know is called Halo Infinite.
Yes.
Yes. What it is, I don't know. Gameplay?
Knows.
I don't know.
But do you remember a conversation that we had probably, I don't know, it's probably months ago now at this point, where I said that if Halo doesn't come out this year, they're probably spending more time and making it more as a games as a service, like a Destiny or Division or something like that. That's what I think this is going to be. I still think you're going to get a Halo 6 campaign, but I really think that it's going to become more of a platform that they expand off of.
I gotcha.
With like raids and strikes and stuff.
Okay. So
that's what my assumption is, and that's why I don't think we're getting a Halo this year, because it's for Halo, it's 3-year development cycle, like clockwork, and now we don't even have a release date. We don't even have a release window for this game.
Yeah. What upset me the most is the fact that this is what the show started out with.
Yeah.
And they didn't even talk about it. Like, didn't even hey, this is Halo. This is kind of give like a little hint of what it could be.
Yeah.
Instead, we just got the intro trailer and that was it. And we know it's based off of what the Master Chief armor looked like.
In 1 and 2.
Takes place between the second and third one.
Supposedly it's a sequel though. I don't know what to make of it. Like, I just don't. I'm sure that there is rhyme and reason for what happens in the trailer. I just think that the reasoning, because they're only showing a tease right now, that I really think the next Halo game, if they're smart, is going to be on the next Xbox. Which rumors are already swirling that they're already working on a next Xbox.
Yeah. 2020, perhaps.
Yeah, potentially. But again, if they Xbox has a lot to win if they play their cards right. Mm-hmm. Now, we're going to go into a little bit later, but with all the studios that they purchased and everything else like that, I guess we can just talk about it now, because we talked about it in the actual video. So with the 5 studios that they actually purchased,
I don't know if I have a picture of that.
I don't know.
But anyway.
But with all those, unless there's currently stuff in development that they can now claim as exclusive that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good 3 years, 2 to 3 years before you start seeing some of those games that are coming out.
Right.
Now they showed a lot of third party published games published by other publishers. Like they showed Dying Light, which was awesome, which has a pretty good following. They showed Devil May Cry 5, but all of those games can be played on other platforms.
Right.
So, the only other big announcement for me I was excited about, and we talked about on the live show, was the Gears of War 5. Right. I'm genuinely excited about Gears of War 5.
I don't know if I have a picture. I don't know if they put up a picture.
I'm sure they have it.
But, here we go. These are the studios.
Those are the studios, yeah.
Well, which is funny, because you have 343, which is already...
Yeah, the Initiative is a brand new studio that was known about, that they just pretty much put together in Santa Monica.
This one right here?
The Initiative, yeah. Undead Labs is the State of Decay developer. Playground Games is the Forza Horizon developer, which I think is going to split off into 2 teams and work on what we think, everybody's rumored or everybody's speculating on, would be the next Fable game.
You think so?
I think so. Because of their open world.
Well, that was something they didn't even mention.
No. They haven't mentioned anything other than what we kind of knew about or what we expected. Ninja Theory are the ones that did Hellblade Susuna's. I can't remember the name of the title, but it was very well. It's a first person game. It was actually one of the cheaper games, but it had a very, very big impact on mental health and stuff like that. Different themes along those lines. And then the Compulsion games are the guys that are currently doing We Happy Few.
Okay.
So those are the studios. I think that they probably looked at a wide range of studios potentially that they could buy. These are the ones they overall settled on. I think they're good picks. I think you have a wide variety of different experiences and different types of games underneath their belt. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But again, I unless they're working on something currently, you're probably not going to hear anything from these guys for the next 2 years. I
feel like what Microsoft has done, and this kind of goes back to, if you watch their reaction, we kind of were like unimpressed with everything.
Mm-hmm.
But
at the time, that was only two.
Yeah,
there's only 2 conferences in.
Problem going first is you're the first to get picked, right? Yeah. Nitpicked and everything right away. However, retrospect, they were probably the smartest conference because unfortunately, I don't think Xbox really cares about this generation much.
At this point, I don't think
they have a future. I think they're building a future-proof plan.
Yeah.
That's going to secure them at the top.
Mm-hmm.
If everything goes right, if everything goes to plan, because like the stuff that we're seeing now with the developers, I feel like, and especially if they're talking about the next Xbox, nothing really was mentioned per se.
I think there's just mutterings about
hinting,
people talking to other people.
But that's where all this stuff's going to come into play because, like you just said, like we don't know what Halo is. I mean, Battlefield, that's going to be playable on a lot of these are going to be playable elsewhere.
Yeah.
So, we have Crackdown 3, but by the time this game comes out, which is February.
Yeah.
I mean, the trailer looks fun. Terry Crews, he's a hilarious man.
Yeah, I was laughing. I was cracking up, but I'm a big physical humor guy.
Yeah.
So it's just...
And I can see this game.
Boom shakalaka.
If they had like the battle royale mode, all these superpowers.
I don't know if they would do that. I don't think they would go that far. I think they just need to worry about getting the game out there from a cooperative level.
But I mean, it looks like a Crackdown game. You have all these power ups, stuff like that.
And it's on Game Pass. I mean, again, the $10 gets you Crackdown 3, Sea of Thieves.
Right away.
Yeah, Gears of War 5, Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
Like, all those are going to be $10 a month.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
You can buy the Xbox One and just pay $10 a month.
Yeah.
And get all their exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're having other publishers add those games too. So they added Fallout, they added Elder Scrolls Online, and they added the First Division.
Right.
It's starting to become the Netflix of video games.
Yeah, which is very smart.
Yeah.
Very smart for them.
So.
Now, let's see. We can talk... I mean, Fallout, that's one thing from,
Bethesda. We can talk more Fallout and Bethesda. I mean, they had the third parties. I think just from an overall conference, like, how do you feel about it now? Like, where would you grade them on a, high school grading scale?
Okay.
Like, from A to F.
All right, here's the thing. Before going into this,
yes,
as a teacher, just saying, not
I'm
an actual teacher, but I'm saying, looking at a school grading, okay?
Yeah.
We have our predictions and hopes.
Yes.
So we give out the project requirements, right?
That they obviously got.
That they
made notes about.
Notes, exactly.
Like, we can't do this.
So, watching the presentation, initially I would say C, right?
Yeah, I was totally there with you. Like, I was not happy at.
But I'm gonna give them a B+ because you see where their minds are heading.
Yeah.
And based off of everything else we've seen from everybody else, especially the big three, I think they really, I think they get where everything needs to be. And conference-wise, I mean, if you want to talk content...
It's just presentation-wise, too.
Presentation? Absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I'm even leaning more towards, like, the A- because all the other ones were not that great. And it was sound, it was tight.
Okay.
And we'll get into the other ones. It was tight. It was a conference. It came there to do what it was going to do. Show some gameplay demos. Got the third parties out there. Show some teasers or exclusives.
Yeah.
So from a conference perspective,
B plus.
I'm gonna say A minus.
You're gonna give
I'm
them
gonna
A
give
minus.
A minus.
They hit the curve.
Yeah, just because all the rest of the conferences, in my opinion, were just not there.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So I started out at C, but I gave him B. And presentation-wise, excellent. Exactly what you want. You have Phil Spencer out there. Everything was,
With his shirt and his blazer.
Talking all about the gaming stuff, what the services are going to do, and everything like that. Our wish list, not even close. However, they have a plan. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think they have. They're gonna come when the next console hits. They're gonna come out in a big way.
I did want to see more exclusives, but that's content wise. That's not presentation wise. Like you said, the biggest thing to take out from you said Gears. For me,
Gears was big for me. I like Tomb Raider and Division. I saw it twice, and Division's got my attention.
I mean, Tomb Raider's gonna be on everything else. As funny as I don't know what that is, Black Desert Online.
I don't remember that one at all.
It's not my thing.
Devil May Cry looks good too.
Yeah, but you have Cuphead as an exclusive, but that's just a DLC thing. Yeah. I'm not even close to even beating Cuphead, the first one, so I'm not even looking at that right now. I love the art style, I love the game, but just I'm not looking at that right now. Tunic, just a Zelda game, Link,
Fox game.
Fox Link, basically. I not interested. Jump Force gonna be on everything.
Jonah's really excited about that.
Yeah, Battletoads for me got me excited.
Well, I'm excited, but again, it was like one of those things where it was just bullet points. It was a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah. But it had all the things I'm looking for.
Yeah, the 2.5D.
The 2.5D, that's how you do it. You don't do the Mega Man 11 stuff. I mean, Mega Man 11, it's come a long way since the first teaser.
Stop giving them crap, John.
I haven't played it yet. I know. I shouldn't be saying that. But I love the 2.5D. It's just, it's just what I wish. Like the Octopath Traveler, that looks awesome in the 2.5D. So, but anyway, Battletoads got me really excited. It was just a teaser. I guessed what it was when I saw a little speeder. I'm like, wait, wait. I know this. I know what this is. I didn't know this was coming, but I'm excited for that. Just Cause 4. I think I played the first one at some point. Whoops. I broke something.
You broke it.
Well.
Alienware headset, huh?
I apparently hit a link somewhere.
There you go.
An invisible link. Just Cause 4. That's an exclusive, right?
No.
That's not going to be an exclusive.
No, it's Square Enix game. It's third party.
Yeah, that's right. So, but anyway, Gears 5 gives me a reason to catch up. I personally didn't have an Xbox One when Gears 4 came out. I heard Gears 3. I wasn't as good as Gears 2. I think you said?
Like I said, I think the problem with Gears 3 was it was kind of like the end of the story, and you had certain...
Yeah. Like, I remember the end of Gears 2, and I just remember that roller coaster of emotion that game took you on.
Yeah, it's and Gears 3 does follow some of that, but I do think that's part of the reason why I had not a problem with 3, but I didn't like it as much as, like, say, 2. Was that it was too much like the 4-player co-op kind of ruined it for me because people were rushing, killing things a little bit too easily, and they were moving into the next cutscene.
I got you.
And that was the problem that they had too with the Gears of War Judgment, the Baron video game.
Yeah, I never. Is that part of the original, like the actual story? Is that like recommended?
It's part of it. I don't know if I recommend it. I don't even remember how much of, if anything, of Judgment was actually in Gears of War 4. I don't think so, but I mean, you might be able to find something out there. It's like, well, actually, this door was turned in this, this archway, and it just completely changed the actual storyline because Marcus actually had to push through it. So like it could be like I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend to be an expert on Gears. But I can say it seems like to me though, like I'm excited for the next Halo, obviously. But for me, Gears is the game. Well, like, Gears is the game for me.
With Gears, like I told you, I was gonna look at you for excitement. If you
excited.
Smiled, I was gonna get excited.
And what the way they're doing the story, like I said, I just like Gears 1 was very environmental. It was a little bit more horror based. 2, they kind of had some of that. and kind of got away from it. 4, it was really just like a hose them down shooter. Gears 4 was okay. but the story it wasn't really much of a story. It was more of like I said, an all-star ensemble. Like, oh, these are all characters that we know again, and we're gonna, fight the bad guys.
Yeah.
This one looks like they're gonna dive a little bit more into the story of Kate,
Okay.
Which I think is good. There was some stuff where there's a little bit more environmental horror that we saw with like the robots.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to go back to that.
Right.
I really do feel, though, the more I think about it, I think Gears of War 4, they knew they had to get out within a certain time, so they pushed it, they developed it, they got everything going with it. There's a basic kind of a Gears of War game, but based on the way they show off the story elements of this game, I feel like this is what they were working on immediately after they launched Gears, if not before it, knowing where the end was going to be.
Yeah, and it's
because it looks pretty well done. Like the gameplay and everything that you saw, it's not like it's a tease. It's not like Death Stranding. We still don't know what the hell's going on with it.
Did they tease this last year?
No,
they didn't.
They showed it. They announced it and showed a hefty trailer.
I hear, yeah. But like what I was saying too is they probably had the engine was pretty much done.
Yeah, well, it's Unreal Engine,
yeah,
so they're using the Unreal Engine. So the engine they make it easy to kind of build stuff, and if they have certain character models, I'm sure it makes it just that much easier.
So, but that's something I think a lot of people would be excited for if they're a fan of that.
I do think going the route of Kate's backstory is much more of an interesting story than what potentially what happened with JD.
Now,
I just don't know. If
I feel like we were tricked because we thought.
Oh my god! I was still gonna lose my mind.
That we thought this Gears pop was gonna be the Gears announcement.
I was like, oh man.
We were like, no way.
Yeah.
I don't think. But no, and then the worst they could have done too. I mean, obviously, just show this, but I mean, the second would be if they just teased Gears, like just the logo, be like, yeah, we are working on a 5th Gears. But like you said, they surprised us and actually had a pretty decent trailer with some gameplay stuff. They went all Gears, actually. They have Gears Tactic, which is a mobile game.
That was another game I feel like I haven't really thought about that much, but it's definitely like the XCOM Enemy Unknown type of a game.
I could see you try this one.
Well, I played XCOM. It wasn't a bad game. I mean, XCOM is free for PlayStation, I think, this month.
First one or the second one?
The second one. So it's free for PlayStation Plus if you want to kind of get an idea of what Gears Tactics is going to be. Yeah. I'm glad they went this route too, instead of doing like another RTS like they did with Halo Wars.
I'm not a fan of RTS games.
Neither am I. I don't understand it. It doesn't work.
That's what I'm afraid about Halo Infinite. Not that it's an RTS, but like that whole RTS. I feel like it's like an RPG sort of.
It's going to be games as a service.
Like an online game where you build a character and you just... I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I wish there was a Halo 6, but maybe just ran dry. So... Oh, here's something interesting.
So was this say next Xbox? They just mentioned it. That the next
he was saying there were, they different modules or something like that. Yeah. So it might not... could be not just one thing, but maybe it's something that actually hooks up to the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like a graphics enhancer or something, because they're working on streaming.
Yeah.
So they're basically working on an idea where they can have this 4K, whatever, like the best gaming specs and stream it to
and play. That's what PlayStation Now is. That's why I think Sony got on the bandwagon so long ago, because they probably had insight to saying that eventually we're going to need this, and that's why they bought the company. Whether or not it's going to pay off for them is still yet to be seen, but I probably trust the infrastructure of what Microsoft has better than what Sony potentially has.
Right.
So,
and which is interesting because they're talking about AI.
You need to stop messing around with AI.
Yeah, well,
you don't screw around with AI.
But they're talking about like game AI, and that's what I always found frustrating in certain games where it's like you do your best to like sneak around, do whatever you can. Mm-hmm. You mess up on one guy, and for some reason, everyone in the whole damn world knows exactly where you are.
Yep.
So I think that they're talking about better AI, so it's like more realistic characters that you're facing.
Yeah.
Or they're going to be Terminators and come to life.
And my Xbox is going to start trash talking me.
And it's going to pull the cord and try to strangle you at the same time. But it's funny because people are like, yeah, sure, they're talking about AI, but for what games? Yeah. You didn't show anything, But like I said, this is all future. They're trying to future-proof their stuff. So, and we talked about their streaming. So now,
and it was Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk was... I guess their last game, but that's not going to be...
That's going to be multi-plat. Evidently, it's going to be a first-person RPG, which is interesting, because Witcher was third-person RPG.
Yeah, I think they said it didn't... Some people first initially the articles were saying that it sort of looks like Witcher 3, but then some people said it's not because it's the first person shooter aspect. And
I don't know. Either way, I mean, some people I think got some hands on with it, so it was like the media behind closed doors.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of the game yet because honestly, again, all we saw was a trailer.
Yeah,
so.
Same thing. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the Microsoft. I give it a B to B plus ish, just because in retrospect they were probably the best presentation.
Yeah.
They didn't really mess around too much. I mean, okay, it's not my fault that I'm not a fan of racing games per se, like Forza Horizon. I thought they spent too much time on it, but that's just a personal preference.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it just looked like a bunch of people hanging out, driving cars around, blowing through walls, and yet their cars are perfectly shiny.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's the point of the snow and the ice and the rain if it doesn't going to do anything to your car?
I'm sure there's much more. I just have to actually play.
But that's just me. I'm not.
Yeah.
I need it. Respect my time, as he would say. That won't respect my time.
Hashtag respect my time.
But it's a big franchise. People love it. It looked gorgeous. I don't want to knock anything about it. It's just a personal preference. So for them to spend more time on that versus spending any time at all on Halo, they could have just been like, "Hey guys, we're working on it. It's going to be amazing." They didn't say anything about it. So that frustrated me. That's why it gets B. And Ori obviously looks fantastic. You played the first one. You said it was
great.
It was a great game.
Yeah.
So this one exclusive, going to be nice. Looks awesome.
Held my attention a lot longer than I thought it would.
So I'm sure this will do well. So, and I don't know, is this
From Software guys that did Dark Souls, Bloodborne,
is
Sekiro,
this going to be multiplayer?
Yes.
Okay.
This will. It's Activision. They don't do single player games or single console games
Yet.
I'm surprised Activision was the one that published it, but okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that pretty much sums up what we liked and did not like about the Xbox.
Yes.
E3 2018 briefing. Any final thoughts on this?
A-.
Do you think they actually showed 50 games?
No, they might have, because we have like the sizzle reels and stuff like that. Of like the ID at Xbox, I'm sure. I don't even remember.
Oh yeah, probably.
I'm assuming that they probably should.
I'm not counting. Not going back either.
But again, I think they came out to do what they planned on doing. I think that we are going to see a new Xbox potentially before the next PlayStation 5. I think Microsoft is very eager to start the next console race.
I think because I think they're willing to get that head start. I think they got I think they have it all figured out.
They have nothing but goodwill right now. Like the backwards compatibility. They have Game Pass. You can change your goddarn gamer tag.
Yeah. So you buy an Xbox for the price.
Yes.
You have a huge backlog of games.
Yeah.
You
if you want, backlog, yeah. And then for Game Pass, like you're probably saying.
Yeah. So if you have a lot of old 360 games you know what to do with, if you have a 360 still or original Xbox, you can most likely you can play it on your Xbox One right now. Like the most popular original Xbox games can play now for the most part.
Yeah.
But anyway, you get the Game Pass. I mean, you still got to buy Live, so it's $60 plus whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, Game Pass, I don't think you have to use. Like, if you want to play multiplayer online, you'd have to get Xbox Live. But if you want to just do Game Pass and play certain games.
Yeah, just kind of enjoy the library.
Yeah.
There you go. It's basically, like you said, it's like a rental service sort of thing.
Netflix. It's literally gaming Netflix.
So you can, if Crackdown 3 sucks, you can play the whole game, and that's it.
And I think
set it and forget it.
The stuff that they're doing with the infrastructure to try and stream it, it's all going to be like the Game Pass. Yeah. So like it should be like they were talking. The one lady came out and was talking about like the double times the amount of download or whatever. So if they can do it so that they can literally stream it right to your Xbox and you don't have to actually worry about a download for Game Pass, that just makes that whole idea of Netflix being that much better.
I think the biggest thing to do is, for instance, when Xbox was on top, there was a lot of things that were restricted. They didn't want to have not play share, but like cross-platform. You know what I'm saying? Crossplay. Now that they're not as strong as Sony, they're up for anything. Yeah. Vice versa.
And I think it does have a lot to do with Phil. I don't want to take anything away from Phil Spencer.
You're the man, Phil.
He has really shepherded a lot of this stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's starting to show with like Sony with things like, and we'll get to, I'm sure, Fortnite when we talk about Nintendo. Fortnite is playable amongst every platform, cross-platform, no problems with it, except for Sony. If you create a Fortnite Epic account on a PlayStation platform, you can't transfer your things to all the other accounts.
Yeah.
If you make an account on Xbox, you can transfer all your stuff that you actually unlocked to Switch.
Yeah.
And vice versa on PC.
Right.
So there's certain things like that like are getting even some of the hardcore PS people kind of upset at this
Pissed
point.
off, yeah.
But like you can create your own controllers. You got all this other cool stuff that you can do.
Yeah.
Talk myself in an Xbox again.
Do it.
No, eventually we'll get there.
But that's another thing.
Like, actually, I'm gonna have to take a long hard pass.
That's
with,
a big thing before we close out though with the Xbox is, like you said, this is kind of pushing for the future, and the reason why we say that is because if you don't have an Xbox, this show did absolutely nothing to convince you to get an Xbox.
Well, that's the one downside is that they still don't have exclusives, and at this point, they're probably not going to allow you to do it.
Yeah.
You're going to have exclusives. You're going to have Gears of War 5, but that's going to be a console exclusive, obviously. But you're still going to be able to play on Windows 10.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, they're making money no matter where it is.
Yeah.
So it's probably better off that they are doing it. But again, they don't make money on hardware. They make money on the software elements, and they make money on the actual services,
which they're nailing, and they seem to be pushing for greater things in the future.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be the other way too with what Sony is planning, but they're just not as vocal about it.
They're not vocal about anything right now.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that is what we thought of Xbox. What did you think?
What's your grade?
Yeah. What's your grade?
B plus, A minus, right? B plus.
I went B plus.
B plus, A minus.
I didn't
just because I'm a big Gears fan.
Yeah, I didn't want to go to A just because of the lack of exclusives.
If they showed Halo, it might have gone up a little bit.
If they showed Halo, yeah, that definitely for sure.
But it wasn't. They mentioned Halo.
That's not the same. It's the same thing as Nintendo doing Metroid Prime 4, with just shooting up just a logo. Anyway, let us know in the comments down below.